Welcome to the Medical Device Made Easy podcast. Here is Monir El Azzouzi from easymedicaldevice.com. And today we wanted to help all the companies that are asking themselves, how do I get a quality management system? How do I get certified? Because if you recall, so with the new medical device regulation, all the companies, even the class 1, have to have a quality management system. And I have with me Stefan Bolleininger from Beyond Quality, who will help us to understand how to do that. So, Stefan, welcome to the Medical Device Made Easy podcast.
Hello. Thanks, Monir. Nice to meet you again.
Yeah. So, as you may recall, Stefan is also having some few episodes with me, and he's also participating to the Medical Device School, where we are asking small questions, and he provides his opinion on them. So, Stefan, as we've said, mainly we have the new medical device regulation that is asking for a quality management system. So I think it's new. It's not something that was asked before with the MDD.
Yes, most likely. Well, we need a quality management system was always a good idea, as because it controls your organization and organizes you to help to streamline and perform. So that's a good thing on the quality management system. So, and with MDR focuses directly and says, okay, you really need to have something. You need to have a quality management system, and depending on the classification, needs to be either certified or not. In any case, absolutely, to be easy on it, it's just, well, go to Article 10, go to the point 9 and go from A to M. That's all you need to concern about. That's nicely written from the European Commission because it's all listed what kind of process areas you need to have. And then you need to dig into every little step and say, okay, these are my small and little processes, this is everything. And then, because that's also a pretty cool insight, if you use the terms directly from Article 10.9 and then search in the MDR completely if that term is available and anytime. And every time it is, what I do, every time it is, well, it was found by normal PDF search or HTML search, that's no problem. I link that little article to the process, and then I can have a quick chat and a quick gap and say, okay, the process supply management is in the following articles. When I want to have a process for supply management, I look, okay, I need to fulfill these articles. That's it. That is a cool thing, and MDR made it quite easy by having all of the processes into a one short list. If you are not certified, if you're certified company, then you need to go to spans that a bit more broad to go also not only MDR but also on the ISO certificate, ISO 13485 certification, and that is, well, that's the same information on it. So every time you look into the standard, you search for, is there a documented procedure needed?
Yeah.
And that you can search for the term. Every time this term applies, you need to have a procedure. You can combine, filter them, spread them, but that's all you need to do. And that is what you need to be visible and challenge on it.
So mainly when we are saying now we need the quality management system, you already mentioned that we have the ISO 13485 that is a quality management system for medical devices. So this is mainly what is recommended by MDR.
The MDR does not tell us which one we shall use, but yeah. As it's always a but in that sentence, we will have in one day we will have the harmonized standards, and then it is has a extremely high likelihood. I would say it's nearly safe that we will need to comply to the ISO 13485 as a harmonized standard. Yeah. If it's a harmonized standard, then it's the best usable idea to do this at. So that's a standard. If you have a class 1M, 1S, 1R, 2A, 2B, or class 3 in Europe, then ISO 13485 is your friend.
And if you are class 1, for example, so is it mandatory to go for ISO 13485?
No, it's not mandatory, but it's a good approach. Okay. So I'm not bound to anyone from the Standards Commission for that standard. I do not have very impact on that, and no personal standard, but it's a good standard. I personally, I really like it. And as a matter of fact, FDA seems to like it as well because they want to shift from the 21 CFR 820 to the ISO 13485. So awareness is quite high that this standard will be the one ruling it all.
So now, if I am a medical device company, I was previously class 1. I will still continue to be maybe class 1 with MDR, and I want to go to create my quality management system, so within the ISO 13485. So what are the steps that you recommend for this company to start on?
Okay. If you want to go to the ISO 13485 standard or want to start fresh with it, look into the Article 10.9 from the MDR, and then look into the ISO 13485 with the documented process. So if you have that, then you will find a few terms, and then every company has some kind of quality processes. Maybe some are written, some are oral, or some are implicit processes, but they are available, and that is something which is really needed to be harvested, because that is how operation spins around its benefit. And that's the saying. So first you need to go to the standard and look what is needed, look to the regulation, what is needed. Then you take what you already have, and then you go and say, okay, how can I fulfill with the things I have, fulfill the processes? So, most likely it will not work out completely. So most likely, if you're not certified, you will not follow the complete certified process in one step. So that is something which you need to go and say, okay, what shall I do next? And that is the important thing. You know, you have a gap, you need to close the gap. And very important on that step, if you have found your gap or no gap at all, if you have found that, then it is the thing where you need to make your contact with your certification institute who can give you the ISO 13485 certificate. In that step, you will need to go to communication, and more or less you will need to start with their offer, make the commercial proposals, all the discussions, how many people you are, the setup of the company, how it will be structured. That's sometimes a very, very hard thing to get that structure completely done with them in a fast time. And then you will first need to pay. And they will give you one day where they say, okay, if you're only ISO 13485, you will have your stage 1 audit and a stage 2 audit. Stage 1 is document check in their offices.
Okay.
Okay, that's the first initial point. At that date, you will have to do everything that ISO 13485 needs to have as a process available, as a printed and released process to give to them to say, okay, that is my processes, that will be checked. And then a few weeks, mostly a few weeks later, 3 or 4 weeks, the auditor had the time to review all the processes, gives you a deviation report and tells you, say, don't like this one. They say, okay, that's not following the standard completely. So there are small details, and then you can fix them, and then they will say, okay, this is our stage 2. Stage 2 is on-site. So 1 or 2 or maybe more of the auditors from the certification institute come to your facility, to your office, what it will be in the scope of the certificate, and check that you work according to the processes you define. So it's not only a book, it's also the book you need to play with.
So yeah, stage 1, they are just reviewing the documentation, and stage 2, they are checking that you are applying that at your site directly. When you are saying about stage 1 that they will give you some deviation, maybe create some deviations, can we say that this is kind of a pre-submission of your system before they are really doing the complete audit, or?
Yeah, pre-submission. Yes, that would be a suitable word for it. Pre-submission. It's a document check. They check for these documents, and there are plenty of tools already available which give you great gap analysis to the documents you have. And in case you do not know what you need to challenge, and that's no problem, look into the standard documented procedure and go one line by line. Do you have this? Yes. Do you have this? Yes. Do you have this? Yes. And at the end, prior to the stage 1, I really, really recommend, and it is required by also by Certification Institute, that you have an intense internal audit.
Yeah. Well, we can call it also mock inspection. So like
mock inspection, yeah, internal, or in the ISO 13485 auditors likes the term internal audit.
Yeah.
They like the term because that's part of the standard as well. Then you do your internal audit and have someone external doing that. Someone, be aware, they need to be qualified according to your own process in that case. Yeah. And then they look into it, make a brief and a really deep looking into it and tell you, okay, I have everything combined to go to certification. And one last step prior to the stage 1, create a management report. You will have the ISO 13485 standard gives you all information needed to be inside of a quality management report. And the management report is completely, and that's information you need to gather. Some of them you will most likely do not have. Then write in, okay, I cannot fulfill that because I do not have gathered the data from the last time. We will do it in the next report. That's needed, and because this management report is your entry point for the stage 1, because that is needed. The internal audit report or something like that, or mock inspection report or whatever is needed, and your documentation, quality documentation, your QMS book, including all your processes and a quality management handbook.
So just one thing. So if you are not successfully passing stage 1, can you go to stage 2?
It depends. It depends on how much you failed.
Okay.
If you have 2 or 3 flaws, minor weaknesses, that's minor nonconformities, you can arrange with them, okay, you will do that in the documentation until the following date, and you can go to the stage 2 anyway. But if you have a major nonconformity or more major nonconformities, and the auditor tells you, no, it's not sufficient what you have done, and I'm not convinced that you can work with it, and that's not according to the standard in the details we require, then you are not allowed to go to stage 2.
Okay. So it's good. So the stage 1 is really making a kind of a filter and not making you go to stage 2 when you are not ready for that at all. So you have now this audit. One thing that I wanted to ask, so on the MDR, it says that the quality management system should be certified by a notified body. So is it, what does it mean, this? Is it really a notified body, or?
It's a weird sentence. Yeah. Because if you have a class 1 device, you don't need to be certified. And also, then if you do the certification, it's voluntarily. If it is voluntarily, no one can tell you you need to do that by notified parties. So any certification institute is fine. Okay. Also, if you need a notified body for your EC certificate, you're also allowed to have a different company certifying your ISO 13485. However, since you can combine the audit time for all ISO 13485 and for the MDR, because if MDR tells you need a notified body, it tells you as the same way, hey, you need an ISO 13485 certification.
Yeah.
So, or you have a type test approval or something like that. But let's go to the standard, to the normal case. Normal case tell me, okay, we need a notified body. That means we need a certified quality management system. That could be, technically, it could be 2 different companies. One is a notified body, one is a certification company, or it could be one company. So it's no rule that it must be a notified body. It could be for ISO 13485. It can be any certification institute which is qualified according to the European law and the accreditation, and you need a notified body checking the MDR topics. It's not clever to have 2 different companies. So I would do it in one, and that is with the one with the highest requirements, and that's a notified body. I would do it in one because they can share the audits, they can look into it briefly, they can say, okay, I have checked this, and that implicates the other process, and that's easier. It's clever, it's cost saving, and it's easier for the one who performs the audits.
And it's also, it's also easier for the company because I imagine that there are companies that maybe have many audits during the year. So adding one more audit because you are just separating both entities is not clever. And yeah, you can maybe save money also, because as you said, so you are combining everything, so you're not asking new auditors to come and pay everything from zero. So I think it's a great point. Just one precision maybe for the people that will be certified or have ISO 13485 certification. Can we say that it's done once and then it's finished, or it will be you'll have to do it? You have to do an audit at a certain frequency. What is the recommendation for that?
Okay, well, that's quite easy. For the ISO 13485, it will happen every year. Okay. Every year. For that, if you have one location, or it depends on how many locations you have, if you any year, the ISO 13485 audit will happen for the one standard who has the quality management system overall complete oversight of the global organization, or however you manage that. That is written in stone, that it will come every year. It depends only how long time they spend there. So they need to have a surveillance audit and a shorter surveillance audit. So the first audit is a certification audit, then it's the first surveillance, the second, the third surveillance, and then it's a certification. Yeah. So, and then it's because then the certificate is only valid for 5 years. Okay. 5 years. So, okay. Yeah. So the certificate is valid for 5 years. They are coming every year, and they are covering all the quality management topics within this period. That is correct. And surprise, we have, for those that are under MDR, possibility of unannounced audit. Will it cover also the ISO 13485 or not? Well, that's a completely different approach, because the regular audits shall tell you, I have a robust working system. So unannounced audit tells me, I know that you have regularly checked your quality management system, but you do not have only a quality management system, you also have products. Yeah. And the unannounced audits focus specifically on one or more products. So they go to the warehouse, clap their hands and say, okay, I want this product, I want that product, I want this product. And now tell me everything about these specific 3 products. So and then they are not looking at the CAPA of them. They are not looking at the compliance system, but they are looking at CAPAs that are related to this product, to this supply chain, etc., but not the procedure for CAPA or this kind of thing. That's correct. Let's face it, it's a regular audit for ISO 13485, also for MDD or MDR, desk audit. In general, say we sit together in one big room, like my conference room, and I tell you, okay, you have that requirement, this is my process. You have that requirement, this is my process. And so it goes more days, mostly 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 days. Okay. So, that depending on the company size. Okay, they go a few times, they go also to the subject matter experts, the developers, the production, the warehousing, the packaging, labeling, whatever. Okay, but I can do most of them by a good technical documentation, and by for a project or a product, and by the quality management system itself. So most of the time I've been in the conference room, but the unannounced audit shall do it exactly a different way, because company is checked during the regular inspection year by year, and then you deliver products, and the unannounced audit checks the products. If you apply on this specific product your quality management system and everything else you have there. So this product with a serial ID, is it traceable? Has it also correct versions for the process procedures, the working procedures, assembly procedures, labeling specifications, labeling prints? Is that in completely line? And then most likely it stops with when it ends to, this is our general quality management process. It does not go the way to, this is our SOP. So SOP is not relevant. So it goes on everything else beyond. So it's cool, because there is a very good second value on the audit. So you do not have duplicated audit times. You have additional audit times, so there's different focus, and that is valuable. And recommendation from my side, some kind of, I call it mystery shopping. Okay. You should do that every year in your warehouse.
Yeah.
Just go as your auditor to your warehouse and tells you, okay, I will this package, this one, and go backwards until you end up with the processes. I call that mystery shopping.
Yeah.
And it's quite nice, and you get a more intense feeling about how safe your procedures are used in all areas of the device production and creation.
Yeah, so I have some customers that were doing that are missioning some external auditors also to come by surprise to make an unannounced audit, and so this helps to train also the team on what it's expected, and that they are not surprised and they are not nervous because they are thinking, what's that? I never saw that. More you are trained, more you will provide the right information and not make any mistake there. Okay, yes. So I think it's great here. Now, one case, is it critical for a company that is passing an audit, maybe stage 2 at the end, to receive a non-conformity report? Is it something that they should be worried about?
Well, worry, yes. Panic, no. I'm telling the truth. I also receive non-conforming reports from notified bodies, sometimes major non-conformity, sometimes a minor non-conformity. It depends. It happens on the understanding between the auditor and us, how we proceed, and who has which kind of information about a specific area. So what happens? If you receive a non-conformance report, you have a time frame when you need to respond and what you need to do. So first thing is, how does it happen? Make a good root cause analysis. Or if they found a problem, tell them, okay, do I need the fire extinguisher directly? Do I need to make sure that everything's good again? So correction, so immediate correction, is it needed? Yes, no. Decide and don't panic. Don't panic if you have a non-conformity, because, hey, you can clear it. If you find out by the non-conformity that you have products in the market which are not safe, then you need to panic. Everything else, it's a quality management system. Quality management is a journey. The auditor improves, you improve. And so you have the non-conformity, look at it. Do I need an immediate reaction? Yes, no. Then decide, why do I need it? Why don't I need it? Rationalize it. Make a good, stay clear rationale, what you have done and what not. Then go and make a good root cause analysis and ask yourself, why did it happen? What has been done? Is it a direct or an indirect problem for the quality management system? And they'll go down with the 5 whys until you are answer the question, okay, now I know why it happened. Really, I don't know why it happened.
I think it's also a good opportunity to use your quality management system. I mean, the CAPA system, for example,
yes.
To answer all these steps, the investigation, the root cause analysis, the actions, and to make the effectiveness monitoring. Check the episode we have done also with Stefan Bolleininger about what are the problems that we can find on CAPAs. So I think that can be also valuable information. Okay, now let's say that I receive my certificate, I put it in a good frame, I put it on my wall. Everybody is seeing that I am ISO 13485 certified UP. Do I need to stop here and wait for the audit next year, or what's happening?
Well, once you receive the audit, once you receive the certificate, you can feel like a hero.
Okay.
But real heroes never stop.
Okay.
So you have your certificate, put it on the wall, put it right behind the wall, and then start again and say, okay, you now know how your quality management systems works, and you have regular tasks. You have defined them in your quality management system. That's here you have regulatory tasks and tasks which need to be performed in a specific way. For example, make sure you have suppliers which are as good as they have been on the certification day. Improve your suppliers, evaluate them, train your people in the companies. It's not a one-day mission. It's a it's an endless mission. It's always going the same circle with, okay, you have now your state, how you are, look into this next step will be your next internal audit maybe, and your management report. What you need to do there, make sure everything is working, make your own spontaneous audits, sometimes during samplings and whatever, and then also improve your quality management system according to all changes and standards you get aware. For example, you have ISO 13485, you're a normal manufacturer of medical devices. That means ISO 14971 applies to you as well.
Yeah.
Or if it's an electronic product, 60601-1. So, but or just for software, the 62304 or the 82304, and then or compatibility. So that's also the same. Then there's a new process, there's a new standard coming out. I need to evaluate. This standard is for me relevant. Yes. What is the impact of that standard on me, on my quality management system? And therefore, I really encourage everyone to have a list of standards which are not only used for the product, but also these standards are evaluated and used in my quality management system. So the reference, my standards, my processes, to make sure that if you see there's a new standard coming out, what if it may have an impact on your quality management system, or also if it's a revised standard or if it's a new standard, then you can say, okay, is it applicable for us in general? Yes, look into the pages. Okay, does it require me to have a process? Yes, no, where can I put it into my quality management system? Or shall I do that, or do I do that with templates or with project-specific documents? That's depending then on the impact it has. But that impact needs to be carefully checked every time you have a standard which is used for you every time. So that is part of continuous improvement of your quality management system. Yeah. Also, if you have product problems, the quality management system does not end with an SOP or a working instruction. No, it ends with the delivery of products and with the traceability after that delivery and with the post-market surveillance after the delivery of the products. Oh, so my arm is not long enough. That is the complete implication it has. And so you need to challenge it every time something changes. So continuous improvement as requested by most standards. Well, that's a very weird thing. It's a bit bipolar from the ISO 13485 standard because it does not require you to have a continuous improvement. However, continuous improvement is always good. So it requires you to have it fulfill all regulatory requirements. Here's my link to my standards. Regulatory requirements, little term, nice looking. And with the continuous improvement, I have challenged that once. Maybe also by my management report, and also it has a CAPA procedure, and the ISO 13485 wants us to ensure everything is safe. So continuous improvement, yes. Improve your system, yes. Not at any cost, but with the eye on the impact. What has to change? Does it have impact on my products, on my customers, on my patients? Because that's patient safety at the end, and that need to be done every day. It's every day's business to make sure we are safe and improving. And regular times, supplier audits, supplier evaluations. Every time I get a new supplier, first in the evaluation and later on the routine evaluations. Management report at least once a year. I combine them normally after I have done all my internal audits. I do the management reporting, because then I have a feedback on what happened. Is it feasible to get checked on that? Is it fine for me? And then I can go with the management report and say, okay, based on everything I found out in the past, I need more or less resources. So that is a task which has to be done very, very good through the year and in a stepped approach. Supplier quality, supplier check, internal audit, internal check. Do I need to log into production? Do I have all my CAPAs under control? And then my management review.
So I think it's when we hear you, it's like it's a full-time job. It's not like once you have done it and it's finished. So you have really to have people that are qualified to help you to do the job. So as you mentioned, don't be just a hero because you received your certificate. Continue the journey and continue to learn it's a step-by-step process. So it's I call it the Deming wheel. So the PDCA, when we are still improving. So you should not stop here. And I think it's important message also for companies that are thinking that, yes, I just paid for an audit, I get my certificate, so I can market that to everybody to say I am ISO 13485, and then I wait for the next audit where they will maybe provide me more non-conformities because I didn't really follow the right journey. So I think it's a good message also for the people.
Yes. Absolutely, it will not end. So it is ISO 13485 certification only has one end. If you do not want to use the certificate any longer,
okay,
so that is the only end it has. Everything else is continuous until the company dies or you. So it depends on what is first. And it's full-time job. That's a thing. If you have a small company, you can do that in parallel to another job. However, ensure that you are differentiated enough from that quality resource to your other things you do, and then you can do a quality management system in parallel to something else. But if you're a company, if it's grows, if it's a bigger one, then it is most likely that you will have one dedicated resource which is only dealing about the quality management system and regulatory requirements. If a company grows bigger, then you have a regulatory and a quality guy and so on. If it's a big company, then you have many people for quality and regulatory. It's scalable.
It's really a scalable system. But I think it's important to have that just for if you are really thinking long term within your company. It's really important to have this kind of strategy. Okay, so I think it's great. So we had really a good understanding now of what is the quality management system, of where we should go. As a reminder for class 1 products, so we need to have a quality management system, but it doesn't need specifically to be certified. For all the rest, it needs to be certified in a certain measure. So ISO 13485 is one solution, and you can go for any accredited body that can provide that to you. But if you need already a notified body, why would you go for another accredited body? So take your notified body for that. As a reminder, as of today, I think there are still 9 notified bodies for MDR and 3 for IVDR. By end of January, maybe with Brexit, I don't know if we will lose BSI UK, so it will be 8 and 2 again. So yeah, there is still a lot of things to come, but yeah, you have options, but yeah, it's still a journey for you. So if you have any other question about quality management system, so you can reach out to us, so to Stefan Bolleininger or myself through LinkedIn or through the comments here on the website or on the YouTube channel. And Stefan, I think they can see you or follow you on beonquality.com. Is it correct?
Yes, that is correct. But most likely you will follow me on all this information about in LinkedIn. So it's easier because the most interesting things we do on our regular days during work and everything happens, I will post on LinkedIn, or one of my colleagues posts on LinkedIn. For example, as we have opened our new facility and a new office in Singapore, which will deal with all the Asian market in 1st of January this year. And all of that stuff will be posted directly on LinkedIn, and that's easier to follow than on our website.
Good. So congratulations for your next your challenges.
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you, Stefan, then for your support, and then I will see you in another episode. So have a good day.
Yeah, great. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.